air travel between the ASEAN countries, the Malaysian Aviation Commission or MAVCOM has announced a flat passenger service charge of 35 ringgit per flight, regardless of the airport that passengers fly out from. However, this is still 3 ringgit higher than the 32 ringgit currently charged at KLIA2, but a 30 ringgit drop than the 65 ringgit imposed at KLIA. MAVCOM says Malaysia is the first country in ASEAN to introduce an ASEAN PSC tier and anticipate that this will boost traffic to and from the ASEAN nations. However, for those flying within Malaysia and overseas, passenger service charges are set to go up. PSC for domestic flights will be increased to 11 ringgit from 6 ringgit from KLIA2 and 9 ringgit from KLIA. The rates to other countries excluding ASEAN will be increased from 65 ringgit to 73 ringgit at KLIA and from 32 ringgit to 50 ringgit at KLIA2. MAVCOM is quick to mention though that even after the change, PSC rates in Malaysia remain amongst the lowest regionally and globally, and that the change in charges is part of MAVCOM's plan to gradually equalize the PSC between KLIA and KLIA2 in order to create a level playing field. The revised rates come into effect from January 1st, 2017 onwards and will be applicable to tickets issued from the date onwards. Speaking of airlines, the AirAsia Group saw its passenger numbers increase for the third quarter for both its short-haul and long-haul arms. AirAsia Berhad saw an 11% increase in passengers during the third quarter of 2016 compared to the same period last year, as it saw more passengers carried in almost all of its regional ops. 14.23 million passengers flew with AirAsia during the quarter, while its load factor was up 6 percentage points to 87%, with a total fleet size of 171 aircraft. It was the same story for its long-haul sister AirAsia X Berhad, which saw a 35% increase in the number of passengers for 3Q16 to 1.22 million compared to last year. AirAsia X says the better performance was due to the strong demand from North Asia and during the national holidays in Malaysia in July and September. According to AirAsia X, the figures exceeded expectation as they came in despite a 29% capacity addition. Passenger load factor was up 3 percentage points to 78%. The Employees Provident Fund says applicants of the End Financing Scheme for Prima Homes won't be able to make any other withdrawals from their EPF account too. Its chief Dato' Syarul Riza Rizwan says the idea to ring-fence EPF account 2 is to give assurance to the banks that they are able to give a higher loan limit to the applicants. He explains that once the account is ring-fenced, the present and future monies in the account will be earmarked towards paying back the Prima housing loan. PM Dato' Sri Najib Razak said in Budget 2017 that the step-up End Financing Scheme is to make financing easier and more accessible to buyers by offering loans of up to 100%. However, Syarul says the choice remains with the individual whether to get a higher housing loan limit or having the option for future withdrawals. The ring fencing will be removed once the applicants refinance their loans. Second Finance Minister Dato' Johari Abdul Ghani says there is nothing wrong in asking questions about 1MDB in Parliament. Johari was reacting to a query made by his predecessor Dato' Sri Ahmad Husni Mohamad Hanaslah on the necessity of incorporating 1MDB in the first place. In Johari's own words, on Parliament's open floor, anyone can ask a question. Other 1MDB questions posed by Ahmad Husni included those related to the Bandar Malaysia deal and about the binding term sheet between the State Fund and International Petroleum Investment Coast Unit (ABA Investments PJS). Subsequent to that, ex-Minister of Rural and Regional Development Dato' Sri Shafi Abdal and former Deputy Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin had also asked a question on 1MDB last week. However, Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Pandika Amin Mulia said that these former cabinet ministers had breached their oath of secrecy by speaking on issues they had knowledge of during their tenure. Tan Sri Khalid Abu Bakar, the Inspector General of Police, also reportedly said the police department had opened investigation papers over the matter and would get statements from the former cabinet members for allegedly leaking government secrets. The Selangor state government has announced its free healthcare plan for the bottom 40 or B40 group, which will cover about 1 million people who have called the state their home for 10 years. Called Scheme Peduli Sihat, Selangor Menteri Besar Dato' Sri Asmin Ali says it forms part of its office's efforts to address the issue of higher living costs faced by the B40. Asmin was quoted in reports as saying that as part of Selangor's Budget 2017, the state government would set aside 125 million ringgit per year for the scheme. which would benefit 250,000 families or 1 million individuals whose households earn 3,000 ringgit and below. The scheme will be taken care of by a third party, namely the Salgate Corporation, which will provide 500 ringgit annually for each eligible family. Overall, Selangor State Government has announced a 3.45 billion ringgit budget for next year, where 52.5% will go towards development expenditure, while the rest is for OPEX.